with Charlemagne. I felt like it was a really good interview. I felt like I was looking at a broken person though. And I mean, that's no shade because the only way I could recognize that in him is having lived a sense of brokenness myself. I felt like I was looking for someone who, from a mental perspective, looks like he needs something larger. You know what I mean? To get back to himself. But not for nothing. All right? Shout out to Jade from XD and Jade and Getting Grown. She always talks about the crazy eyes, right? It's kind of like the David Blaine eyes, like they're very dark and it looks like nothing is behind it. If you look Britney Spears in the eyes right now, there's an element of her that has left the building, right? I felt like when I watched Kanye's interview with Charlemagne and I looked at his eyes, he's gone. He's gone. It looked like he had left the building. And I don't know. I just felt sad. And so when we got into seeing him on the TMZ interview, I just kind of felt like that confirmed it. Like it just looked like the brother was dead behind the eyes, and let me just say this. I know that he said a lot of idiotic things in the past 2 weeks. The Trump thing has got people rubbed the wrong way because as far as people are concerned, when it comes to Trump, you are either team this or not at all. All right. Either you are against Trump or I don't fuck with you. We're throwing the whole thing away. And unfortunately, I live in the states that are united, and whether or not I want him to be my president, he is my president. Whether or not I agree with the politics, it is what it is. And unless I can only continue to go out there and vote for people who have the same agenda or a likened agenda to me or as close as possible to me. And that's the only way that I get to control the narrative, because right now saying that I hate him and saying that he's a fucking asshole and saying that he's all those things. 45 is xenophobic, he's racist, he's misogynistic, he's sexist, he's an asshole 120% of the time. However, it doesn't stop the show. He's still there. Kanye appeared on TMZ where amongst a number of idiotic statements, he said that he felt like after 400 years with all of those people, slavery had to have been a choice at some point. Now, I know everybody was like, no the fuck he didn't. I think that Kanye is one of those people, and listen, all right, I'm not making excuses for him, right? But I do want to say this from the standpoint of mindfulness, right? I think that each person, right, has to watch themselves in terms of the things that they believe they are capable of. And what I mean by that is if your hubris, which is just an excessive amount of pride, allows you to believe that you are incapable of anything, even murder, if your pride allows you to believe that, there is a likelihood higher that the thing that you believe that you are incapable of, you will be capable of doing it, right? I would never cheat. I would never this. I would never say that. I would never. The only thing that separates you from the person who you are looking at in terms of, judging this person is grace. Honestly, there but for the grace of God go I. The only thing that separates me from making just as stupid, I deem stupid move as the next man is grace. So instead of looking at a lot of people who have been fucking up, and don't get me wrong, we talked about this last week. Atonement is a necessary part of making amends for bad behavior. You know, responsibility. I too believe that Kanye, just like everyone else, has the right to say what they want to say. Now, the thing is, you don't have the right to your own facts. You have the right to say what you want to say, but facts, you don't have the right to that. Okay? You don't have the monopoly to facts. There can only be a single fact. Now, if you're talking about opinion and how you feel about that, you have the right to that. Right? He has the right to believe that he can like Donald Trump. You have the right to do that. But I have the right to then react to that. And if I choose to not support you economically or any of your endeavors because of it, that's my business. But I am not mad at Kanye for liking Donald Trump. Kanye West is a narcissist. Donald Trump is a narcissist. And we've talked about this in the past. And, you know, no offense to any of my cisgendered hetero black men out there, because I don't want to make a blanket statement, but I do believe that some cisgendered hetero black men really have a problem with the fact that they want to be able to do and say things and kind of walk around with the same bravado and be able to get away with the same shit that white men do. You know what I mean? They're not woke. You know, some of these motherfuckers are not woke. What they're woke to is wanting to be able to wield the same power as cisgendered hetero white men. They're not interested in equal opportunity. They're not interested in you know, LGBTQIA rights. They are not interested in feminist rights. What they are interested in is being able to wield the same powers as cisgendered white men, hetero white men. I'm a firm believer of that. And I feel like when I look at Kanye, he strikes me as the type of man who wants to be able to say, I want to be able to act and say and do whatever the fuck I feel like it, because I'm a black man and I'm a god and I'm a cis hetero black man, and you know. But I don't necessarily know that. I also support this white man's right for doing that. This white man who doesn't believe that gays should have the same right, or women should have the same right, or people who don't look like him should have the same right. Which, by the way, Kanye, that does include you as well. But I believe you think that money now puts you in the same arena as him. So when he talks and when he fights and when he shows his bravado, he's not just showing it for men that look like him. You believe that he's showing it for you too, because your money puts you in a room with him. You know? Cocaine is a hell of a drug, allegedly. But drugs, you know, my grandmother used to say stuff like, not everybody's brain can handle certain drugs, you know, or drugs or drinking, period. When I look at Kanye, I look at someone who I don't necessarily know that the drugs have been kind to him. I think that as someone who was already temperamental, who was already perhaps in need of some therapy, I think that the drugs only metastasized what was already perhaps lost. I don't know why, you guys, but when I looked at Kanye on this TMZ interview, I got the sense that we're going to lose him. And not lose him to the whites. Okay, because we already lost that. So I guess in the racial draft, y'all done got Kanye. Okay, we will take Michelle Williams of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, comedic genius, by the way. We'll take her. You guys have Kanye. But it wasn't even like I felt like, oh shit, we're gonna lose him to the whites. I felt like this nigga's gonna die. And I mean, I hate to be that morbid and put that, I don't know why, but it's just like I looked at him and I almost got the feeling that he would even think that in order to iconicize himself, that he'd be willing to give his life up for that. Kanye revealed that he had had liposuction, and that is how he got addicted to opioids. Now, I told y'all before that I did not know that Kanye was on opioids, okay? I had no idea. And to hear that he had liposuction for his wedding, and that's why he got addicted to opioids? First of all, would y'all take anybody who had liposuction? I'm just asking. Would you date somebody who had liposuction? I don't know. And maybe this is a very sexist kind of thought process, and I believe that it is. And if it is, please check me, boo. But I found it interesting that this man that we have revered for his bravado basically looked at us and said this week, you know what, all of that bravery that you saw in my bravado was bullshit. I actually truly care about what you guys think about me, so much so that I went and had liposuction. This is post his mother dying. Now, also, you guys, I did not know that Kanye's mom did not die on the operating table. Oh yeah, Kanye's mom actually died after the surgery. Not even at the hospital. She died at home recovering. Apparently, she was left in the care of a cousin who was like, you know what, girl, you look good. I feel fine. I'm going to go to this party tonight. And apparently during that time, during the cousin's absence, who was supposed to be her caretaker, that is when Donda passed away. Now, Kanye talked about this week wanting to use the doctor's image Dr. Jan, who did the liposuction. Kanye wanted to use his face as the album cover, which would be very morbid and disgusting. But just so you guys know the facts, Dr. Jan didn't kill Donda. Donda died as a complication to the surgery. Donda died at home. Allegedly. Now, I don't know this to all be true because I don't know these people like that, but that's what I had heard. So, to know that that's what happened, and then Kanye went and got the surgery. Kanye, thick thighs save lives, darling. Thick thighs save lives. You do not need to be getting those surgeries. You look good. Just go to your wife is always working out. Why don't you just get up and go work out with her? But nonetheless, so Van, who everybody knows from TMZ, the token black guy from TMZ that everybody knows who's not Charles. Okay? So Van politely told Kanye off. We've seen all of this. We know what it is. We don't have to relive it. But what I will say is this. I don't want to throw Kanye away. I don't. I am fearful that Kanye is... I think there's a difference between R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and what we saw from Kanye this week. And I want to challenge you guys to be more mindful about this from the standpoint of he said something we don't agree with. He said stuff that was not rooted in fact. He's also admitted to us that he has some mental instability. He also stated on this TMZ interview that he had taken a pill the day before he had the interview. And he also talked about the fact that he went into, when they took him in for psychiatric hold, he at the time was addicted to 2 or 3 pills. By the time that they took him out of psychiatric hold, they had given him 7 fucking pills to take. Now, one of the things, as someone who studied mental health, and that is what my degree is in, I would say this. This is America, and I know for sure that there is a problem with the way that we treat mental health. There's a problem with how many pills, Traceba, Xarelto,